I've seen crabs rocking bottle caps as hats and fish flaunting their best plastic bag impersonations. Funny, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all you environmentally conscious extraterrestrials, welcome to the greatest show on Earth, where the only thing we're throwing away is our inhibitions and, unfortunately, way too much plastic. Have you ever stopped to consider how pervasive plastic is in our daily lives? From the moment we wake up, we're interacting with plastic. It's in our toothbrushes, our food packaging, our clothes, even in our cars and our phones. It's hard to imagine what a day without plastic would look like. Now consider this. We've become so accustomed to this material that we've developed a voracious appetite for single-use plastics. These are items we use just once before tossing them aside. Think about it. Every minute, 1 million plastic bottles are bought around the globe. In a single year, up to 5 trillion plastic bags are consumed worldwide. It's a staggering reality, right? The convenience of plastic has led to its omnipresence. It has become an integral yet often unnoticed part of our everyday routines. Plastic, particularly single-use plastic, has woven itself so intricately into our lives that it's hard to imagine a day without it, but at what cost? Plastic is not just ubiquitous, it's persistent. Its environmental impact is far-reaching and long-lasting. Let's take a moment to ponder on this. Between the 70s and 90s, the generation of plastic waste tripled. This was reflective of a similar rise in plastic production. The early 2000s saw a surge in plastic waste generation, rising more in a single decade than it had in the previous 40 years. Today, we produce about 400 million tons of plastic waste every year. It's a staggering figure, isn't it? Plastic's persistence has led to its integration into the Earth's fossil record, marking the Anthropocene, our current geological era. It's even given rise to a new marine microbial habitat dubbed the plastosphere, a testament to how deeply our plastic addiction has permeated the natural world. We can't talk about plastic without addressing the elephant in the room: greenhouse gas emissions. Plastic production, use, and disposal are significant contributors to our global carbon footprint. Around 98% of single-use plastic products are produced from fossil fuel or virgin feedstock. This is forecasted to grow to a whopping 19% of the global carbon budget by 2040. And let's not forget about plastic waste disposal. Most of our single-use plastic products, from food containers to beverage bottles, end up in landfills or as unregulated waste. That's about 85% of all plastic packaging. This disposal not only pollutes our environment, but is a significant loss of economic value. The story of plastic is a tale of convenience turned catastrophe. What began as a symbol of progress in the mid-20th century is now a global environmental crisis. Plastic, once seen as a miraculous material, is now a pervasive pollutant. It's a problem we can't afford to ignore. Plastic, once a symbol of convenience and progress, now poses a significant threat to our environment and our future. Now that we understand the magnitude of the problem, the question becomes, what can we do about it? We must recognize that the plastic crisis is not a simple one to solve. It's not just about picking up litter or recycling more, it's about systemic change. A radical shift in our approach to production, consumption, and waste management. You see, out of the 7 billion tons of plastic waste generated globally so far, less than 10% has been recycled. That's an incredibly small fraction. The rest? It's lost to the environment, shipped across the globe to destinations where it's mostly burned or dumped or languishing in landfills. And this isn't just an environmental issue. The estimated annual loss in the value of plastic packaging waste during sorting and processing alone is a staggering $80 to $120 billion. So what's the solution? We need to look at alternatives to plastic. We need to invest in research and development of materials that have the convenience of plastic without the lasting environmental impact. We need to push for regulations that hold corporations accountable for the waste they produce. But change also starts with us, the consumers. We have the power to drive the market towards more sustainable options. We can choose to reduce our plastic consumption. We can opt for reusable bags, bottles, and containers. We can support businesses that prioritize sustainability. We can demand better from the companies that don't. And most importantly, we can support environmental initiatives We can advocate for policies that protect our natural resources. We can educate ourselves and others about the impact of our choices. We can participate in cleanup activities and contribute to organizations that are fighting against plastic pollution. Remember, every piece of plastic ever made still exists today, but we are not powerless. With conscious consumption and collective action, we can start to turn the tide on plastic pollution.